Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Cam. 3.18 has been in the PTU stage for quite some time, almost 2 months in fact. Due to the huge list of features that 3.18 brings, it's no wonder it's taking so long. But that's exactly why I can't go back to 3.17. It feels way too outdated compared to all the cool stuff we can do in 3.18. And I'm sure many of you feel the same. Let's talk about some of my favorite new features in 3.18. As I alluded to in one of my last videos, sand caves are beautiful new additions and have amazing gameplay potential. Although they are a bit difficult to find, I imagine in the future there will be more missions that guide us to these awesome new locations. One of these new locations mixes a sand cave with a derelict outpost, and it's one of the most detailed yet. The whole area tells a story. What the story is for you to dream up. It's called the Daymar Crash Site, and I'll be posting a separate video about this amazing addition soon. In this patch, there have been 40 new rivers added on Hurston and Microtech. Like the sand caves, the rivers are a bit hard to find, as the current level of detail tech doesn't allow us to see them from space just yet. But the one new river on Microtech that I visited, I was impressed with how good it looked. Sure, it's not as good as a river in, say, Red Dead Redemption 2, but it's still a river on a huge planet that you can visit after having left another planet, traversing through space without the need for loading screens. With 3.18 saw the addition of hull scraping and repair. Scraping allows you to use a dedicated ship, such as the newly added Drake Vulture or the Aegis Reclaimer, to strip the exterior hull off salvageable ships or use the multi-tool attachment. It's definitely a very calming task, much more than, say, mining or cargo running. Put on some calming tunes and scrape away. It's worth mentioning that there is another feature alongside scraping that was added, and that is if you have the multi-tool attachment, you can use it to repair your own or someone else's hull, which is basically just the reverse of scraping. This definitely adds immersion in that it would be common for ships to get damaged out in a harsh environment that is space, either from impacts or from a skirmish with a pirate. And the patched area looks cool because it doesn't replace the paint, just the bare metal, which makes it appear you've got some battle scars to show off. If you're an adrenaline junkie who loves drifting around corners at breakneck speeds, all while catching glimpses of those who attempted racing before you, littering the ground underneath, then these new racetracks are for you. CIG has gone above and beyond to make these new locales highly detailed and atmospheric. There are multiple locations to choose from, a total of 7 to be exact, and each track has its own unique features, and they range from 0G in space, to low G on moons, to full G on planets. It's not just the tracks themselves that were added, but also time trials. You'll be able to race against your own times repeatedly and unlock new tracks. Hauling cargo has gotten a lot more involved and I love it. This works very well in tandem with the cargo scraping I talked about earlier, because it allows you to use a tractor beam to move cargo around and it will automatically snap into place on the cargo grid of your favorite ship. So instead of just cargo that appears and disappears, it's physicalized and opens up a ton of immersive gameplay. I know pirates will be happy with this change as well, since they'll be able to actually steal the cargo off of a soft death ship. Speaking of which, ever wanted to be able to board another ship after disabling it, killing its occupants, and stealing its loot? Well, now you can with soft death. When you engage in combat with another ship, there is a high chance that it will become disabled instead of just blowing up. This is a huge change because now you've got some immersive gameplay happening. The gravity shuts off, cargo floats around, and now you're faced with the possibility of a 0G firefight. Awesome stuff. I'm looking forward to this gameplay even further in the future, as CIG has stated they want to be able to implement component repair and replacement. So if your ship does get soft killed, you'll be able to repair it and make it to another R&R station. One of the most amazing features in my opinion is Persistent Entity Streaming, or PES for short. This essentially allows you to drop an item, or a ship, or anything physical and find it later. It doesn't just disappear as it would in previous versions of Star Citizen because the server culls it. I talk about immersion a lot, but it is true that just like in real life, if a ship blows up or crashes, the pieces of that crash would still be there for a really long time, and its contents would be there as well. If a C2 is carrying a full load of cargo and it crashes or gets shot down, the hull and a good amount of the cargo will survive, and you can potentially find it days later. This makes for interesting gameplay because you can leave behind a box of goodies for yourself or someone else. You can organize treasure hunts for people to find something in a cave or on an asteroid somewhere. The possibilities for this feature are truly endless. There are actually even more features that I have not covered in this video that are in 3.18, like new prison missions, platform assaults on Orison, or the new security post Korea reactivation. But I myself haven't had a chance to play with these features as there are so many. I'll be going into more depth into the features I listed here and the ones I didn't in future videos, so be sure to subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so you know when I post new content. I did just launch a new Patreon for this channel, and I would greatly appreciate your support if you like what I'm doing. I will be mentioning each of the new Patreons on this channel in every video going forward. Thanks so much to all of you, and stay safe and diverse, citizens.